Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Enrique, and today I wanted to make a video on story time. And yeah, let's just get straight to it. So the story time today takes place last year, December 2025. The month of December, right? I went to go take a CPR and AED class with my sister because she needed it for whatever reason, right? And what had happened was that we took the class. This was around the time where I was. This was right before where I started to get enough of life and started taking the first steps that I would take that would eventually lead to right now, right? So we take the CPR class, and then the instructor was a paramedic for the county, right, Los Angeles. And then once we're done, what had happened was that the medical class I'm taking in the fall, it's an EMT class, right? An EMT to get your EMT license. And basically what had happened was that I go and tell this guy, hey, since you're a paramedic, obviously you need your EMT license to become one, right? And then I asked him, hey, do you know any schools, any place I could go study or go pursue my EMT license? He said, yeah, here's a school. But eventually I found another one, another option, a cheaper option, right? One that wasn't too far away either, because the one I was gonna go to, I mean, or rather the one that he showed me was like maybe an hour drive, right? Depending on traffic. So I said, no, I'm not. I'm not doing that at all. So I took the one that was closest, which is about 30 minutes away from where I live, right? And plus, I gotta think about gas, so that's another reason. Um, I remember saying, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Right? I'll think when I should take it. I'll think about it whether I should take it now, which was basically what he recommended me, right? Take it now. The spring semester, right? I would have been taking it now. And then the words that really struck to me right after I said that, his words really struck me. He said, "Don't think, just do." And that kind of shook me a little bit from the inside, cause I feel like for majority, if not all my time through college, I've just been thinking and thinking, and it just weighs on you. The more you think, the more you think, the more the actions you take weigh on you unnecessarily through what if I can't thoughts, right? But what if you can, right? I gotta say what if you can, just to reinforce the positive stuff in my mind. Um so yeah, what he had said really struck a chord with me, because right then and there I've realized I just been thinking even before that, right? When I want to go do my masters and all that stuff, and I had to drop out, I was just thinking it the entire time. But the difference is with that was I kind of dodged a bullet there, because what college degree is worth it, honestly, in this economy, anyways. So I dodged the bullet there, but everything up to that point, I just been thinking and thinking and thinking, and I wasn't really doing anything, right? More time is wasted thinking than actually doing. That's what I've realized most of us go through, right? I know, at least with my parents, with my family, they say I'm gonna do this. They think I'm gonna do that. They think, oh, blah blah blah, right? But when push comes to shove, it's kind of, you know they, they just don't do it, because they have so many thoughts that override that original goal. They think too much, to the point where they say, actually, I'd rather not do it, right? So I was once in that mentality, right? And when he told me that, I said, okay, I'm gonna try whatever he said, right? And then the month passed. Um, I said, okay, I gotta get my life back together. I need to start doing something. I'm thinking, what job should I get, instead of thinking, okay, let me just get a job, whatever, right? And then I just clicked on the job that I have now, right? And one of three jobs, anyways, right? And then I also think to myself, okay, which school am I gonna do it? Okay, I'm gonna do it in this school. And then at least for a week, I just been thinking about just the course, just everything that was listed in the program, the EMT program. And then I said, I had so many what if thoughts. I had so many thoughts. It kind of delayed me from actually doing what I wanted to do until late January, when I started to say, actually, okay, I need to actually stop thinking and I really have to go do it. So I went to the school, I made my account, my application, and then I asked further information about the program, right? And then that was actually my first start to where I'm at now, right? Or I guess you could say the job finding was the first step, right? But that's beside the point. And then I remember it was around that same week. Pardon me. Um, I told myself, okay, I need to get back in shape, right? Because I just kind of, when I wasn't working or when I wasn't doing anything productive, what I would do is just rot in my bed all day, right? Bed rotting, doom scrolling, and whatever, right? That stuff isn't good for you. Maybe for 3 5 minutes that's okay, but doing it more than 5 minutes, I feel like that's an issue. A lot of people have that issue. Even now, I'll admit I have that issue, but as soon as I snap myself out of it, be like, okay, that's it. I was just here to read and reply to messages. That's it. Bye. But yeah, as soon as I did that, I remember around that same week, I thought to myself, I'm gonna go work out. I'm just gonna go work out. And then I said I'm gonna go work out for 3 times a week, right? I only ended up doing two because I had too much anxiety. I was thinking too much. Oh man, what if this? What if that? What if that? Blah blah blah, whatever, right? And then I went back and I thought back to what the paramedic said. Don't think, just do it, right? And then the following week, it I started adopting that in little steps. Actually, it's the best way I could put it. You put in the seed, right, and then the seed starts growing little by little. That's kind of the way I went about it. I guess you could say that, right? And then the week afterwards come. I actually do 3 times a week, right? And I wasn't really thinking too much about it. Actually, I felt good about it, right? Because I actually did work out. My body felt great and sore, of course. And then I said, okay, let's do more next week. And so while thinking about it, I worked out on Monday, Tuesday. I took my rest day on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday without even thinking about it, right? And I'm a heavy guy, okay? Oh, little by little, right? I don't weight as much as I used to. Um, I started going for jogs, 1.5 miles, 3 miles, right? I started off lightly. And then I started doing push-ups and sit-ups. I remember the sets I did originally was 2 sets each of 15. So that's like 30 push-ups and 30 sit-ups, right? And I said, you know what? Why not? Let's just add 30 minutes of kickboxing. So that's what I did. And then sooner or later I started adding more reps. I started adding like maybe 10 extra minutes for kickboxing. I started adding more miles in my runs. And I stopped thinking about it. I stopped thinking my day through too much anyways. I said, okay, I'm gonna go for a jog. And then when I jog, right when I'm about to finish my third mile, I say, okay, let's go for another mile. And I don't really I don't really think much after that. I don't look back. I just do it. And yeah, those words really cut deep to me. Um, don't think, just do. Don't think, just do. Just do it. Just do it. Don't think it through. Just do it. More time is wasted thinking and overthinking about endless possibilities instead of actually doing it. Because the more you do something, the less you have to think about it, and the less you have to think about it, the more you'll get accomplished, right? And then, you can make an argument about, oh, what about academics? You actually got to think about academics, right? Well, yeah, that's true. You do have to think about academics, but it's like I've mentioned before, just think about it in the moment, right? Once you start your day, have your goals set. I'm gonna do assignment 1, assignment 2, reading 5, whatever, and study for an hour or two, right? Just plan your day, don't think too far ahead. And then when you gotta think, just think within that moment when you have to go study. That's something I started doing too. I don't think, I just do it. When I have to do it, I just do it. As long as it's within that day, I just do it. I don't fill myself with overwhelming odds. When I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. I do it by steps. I don't take a large step and then go backwards 1 or 2 steps, right? Take one step at a time, one step at a time, at your pace. Yeah. And I think that was really it about the story time. So I'll catch you guys later.